The mystery of agreement. Agreement as a noun is such an intriguing and powerful word. I was having a meditation session a few days back, and the Holy Spirit took me on a ride with this word. Our journey started from Amos 3:3. It's quite a popular piece, and it says, "Can two walk together unless they agree?" The word I gleaned from that verse is oneness. It made me understand that agreement brings and meshes two or more components together. This can be people, instrument, or anything you can think of. They may be of different materials, or of people, they may be of different races. But when they meet and decide to agree, they become one. One in purpose, one in vision. Agreement literally leads to a total blending of all the properties or parties involved, a perfect sync between two or more bodies. Now, where am I going with this? I will explain. On a very beautiful day, Jesus was having a discussion with his disciples, and he said some things I want to quickly highlight. Jesus answered, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really knew me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him." Philip said, "Lord, show us the Father, and that will be enough for us." Jesus answered, "Don't you know me, Philip, even after I have been among you such a long time? Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Don't you believe that I am in the Father and that the Father is in me? The words I say to you, I do not speak on my own authority. Rather, it is the Father living in me who is doing his work." Jesus' answer to Philip when he asked him to show them the Father is one of profound insight. According to his response, Jesus believed that there is a way for someone to be deeply in sync and connected with another person, just as he was with the Father, and in such a state there will be no need to physically see the Father when Jesus himself is present. Jesus was essentially conveying that he had reached a state of such deep attunement and spiritual connection with God the Father that he could effectively represent him, speaking and acting in the same manner as God the Father would have done if he had been physically present. The power of agreement. I can literally see Jesus saying, "Philip, why is he clamoring to see someone when I have spoken like him and done things like he would? Everything he would have said to you, I have uttered. Everything he would have done to you, I have done." Philip, seeing God after all these things becomes needless repetition. This leads me to say that this summation, the height, the end result of genuine agreement or oneness, is where you become one in words and in deeds with another. Matthew 10:19, John 14, verse 10 and 12. To achieve this with another, you will need to learn about the person. While I was on this meditation, the Spirit led me to where Jesus said, "Take my yoke and put it on your shoulders. Learn of me, for I am gentle and humble in heart." That verse puzzled me a bit. So I asked the Spirit, why is Jesus using a yoke to explain this analogy? He answered immediately, because a yoke is the closest thing to a burden. If you have seen a yoke, then you have seen a burden. You cannot truly say you know someone if you do not know the burdens, the thirst, the hunger in their heart. For an agreement to work and for oneness to be actualized, you must know, feel, and understand the burdens of the other person you want to be in sync with. You cannot truly know someone and not know and touch their burdens. And you cannot truly know their burdens and not carry it with them. If you touch a man's burden, then you truly know that man. If you want to know God, then you will need to touch his burdens. That said, it takes education to achieve oneness with God. It takes deliberate learning, unlearning, and relearning to achieve genuine agreement or oneness. The education will teach you the way of life of the other person, show you their values, thought patterns, and visions of how things should work. If you come with an open heart, then all these things will eventually rub off on you. And when they do, they will affect your thought pattern. And out of the abundance of these new thoughts, your speech will eventually be altered. So technically, this education will change your words and your actions. Don't forget, like I said previously, there are two ways to represent a man. Once you have his words and his actions, you are that man. This is exactly what the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit wants to achieve in you right here on earth. That you become so calibrated and mixed with the Trinity that there will be no need for them to appear physically when you are there to speak and do the things they would have done. Oneness is all God seeks. How do you get it? How do you get this education? It's simply by fellowship, constantly meeting and wholeheartedly learning and doing the things you are taught by the Holy Spirit. You cannot become except you remain. He who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying.